Okay, so this is part 2 of what to bring for all your first years going into residence. One thing that, it's not essential, but you might want to bring, I would look into it first, is a fan. I know for Glendon anyway, the residences aren't air conditioned. So, in like those September, October, and then April, March months, it can get kind of hot in residence. So having just a fan to circulate some air might be a good idea. But then again, you might want to get it once you arrive in residence because some residences are air conditioned at Kiel campus. So just keep that sort of thing in mind. So that was kind of a number 6 side sort of one. Next thing you want to bring is some tea and stuff like that. Stuff that you can sort of like boost yourself up with. Tea is a really good one. For some reason, tea, I mean, it's one of those things where you can get caffeinated teas and that'll give you a boost, but you can also, tea also helps you when you're feeling down and you want to pick me up. And it also feels kind of homey when you're cold in that cup. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I would recommend it. Other things you want to bring and don't forget are all your toiletries. And don't forget to stock up on this stuff because I would definitely take a trip to Costco with your parents or by yourself, depending. And just stock up on like some toothpaste, some shampoo, some conditioner, some deodorant, razor blades if that's your thing. Just stuff like that, because you can get it really, really cheap there, and trust me, it's stuff that you're going to forget once you're there. So just thinking about buying that 3-pack of toothpaste, just a really good idea, and stuff that you kind of use all the time. Same sort of idea is maybe stock up on some breakfast foods, like some cereals, some oatmeals, stuff like that, because if you're kind of a late riser or the opposite, if you have a super early class, you don't really want to be rushing to the caf and then rushing to class. So having just some cereal and then some milk to put in your little fridge is just super handy. Which leads me into my next point is some dishes. You will want to get some dishes. Now, the level of dishes you want to bring will depend on whether you're cooking in residence. So if you're not going to be cooking in residence, like if you don't have a kitchen key or stuff like that, really you just need to bring the basics. I would suggest 2 cereal bowls, 2 plates, basically a handful of like knives, forks, and spoons. Spoons are the one thing that you always kind of need more of. For some reason, spoons are kind of your best friend. They work with any food and it just works out. So I also had some chopsticks. I would suggest them. They're handy, and again, you can use them for any food, and they're super easy to clean. Yes, and then some mugs and some cups. But like I said, if you're going to get the Brita and you have your trusty water bottle, you won't need to have that many cups, but I would suggest a few mugs. Or if you're the kind of person who likes to drink tea and coffee on the run, don't forget to bring a travel mug. Some Frosh kits will include one, so if you do forget it, it's not that big of a deal, but just think about that sort of thing. And plus, it's good for the environment. So that's sort of the thing you want to bring. That's the basics. Now, if you will be cooking in residence, you'll want to bring a few more things, like a pan, a pot, maybe a cutting board. Don't forget to bring some dish rags. And that kind of goes for everybody for when you're washing dishes. Just bring a few dish rags so you don't have to be using paper towel all the time. Again, it's a huge waste, and it's just easier that way. So, yeah, a few dish rags. And if you wanted to bring a bit of dishwashing liquid, might be a good idea as well. If not, you're pretty safe bet on finding some if you need to. But just something to think about. Yeah. So, cutting board, some knives, some sharper knives you'll want to bring, and just stuff like that. Stuff that you're going to be cooking with, basically. And depending on the amount you're going to be cooking, will depend on the amount of pots and pans you'll need. So, just something to think about. Baking stuff, all that kind of jazz. So, yeah. Other than that, I mean, your first year residence is sort of a learning experience. Some people will stay in residence like myself, and some people will be moving out or moving back home. But I would recommend residence for most, if not all, first years. It's just a really, really great experience to get to know people, and you'll have a lot of fun. There's always a lot going on. You'll never feel alone. Yeah, it's super great. And there's not much more I would suggest as far as bringing. Oh, one more thing just popped into my head. Your internet cable. I know, it's something that a lot of people don't think about. But I would get one. If you don't get one, they tend to cost a little bit if you buy them from a bookstore. Yeah, so just bring one from home. Or if not, you can cheat and get a Wi-Fi thing like I had for my Apple. But yeah, don't forget that. I forgot that, and I know a lot of people forget that, so don't forget it. Other than that, there's not much that I can think of that's really essential to bring for first year. Now, like I said, depending on the size room you have, you're going to probably want to bring a bit more. I didn't have a very big room, so I couldn't fit a lot in there. So, like, for instance, if you have a really large single, or if you're at Kiel and you're sharing a room, or if you have a common space that you'll be sharing among 3 rooms and you have a common bathroom, just think about bringing maybe a chair or something like that. You know, it all depends. Pillows. I mean, I sort of went crazy in my room, made my room really homey, so I had pillows and blankets and fake flowers and stuff like that. So if you want to make your room a bit more homey, take a trip to IKEA. You can stock up on some stuff really cheap, and it's just something to think about, you know, to really make it not seem like a dorm room and make it seem like your real home. Like I said, the fake flowers, the pillows, the throws, maybe a lamp. I had a reading lamp, which really, really worked because I put my bed on the other side of the room, on the opposite side of the other reading lamp, so I would suggest that. Yeah, garbage can, stuff like that. Just little things that will make your room more homey. The only thing that is completely illegal and you cannot bring, I know for most residences, considering someone died of this a few years ago, it's really sad, candles. You can't bring candles. So if you do like that ambient feeling of candles, I would suggest bringing those flameless candles. Or the other option is, which I had, were little twinkle lights. You can put them up along the border of your room or along a window, and it gives it that sort of kind of romantic ambient feeling that's really, really nice. And they're really cheap. You can get them at Canadian Tire or anything like that, especially around these summer months. So that's something to think about as well. But I hope this helped. If you guys have any more questions on what to bring, please let me know, and I love to answer questions about this kind of stuff, so just let me know, guys. I hope I helped you guys, and see you guys in a bit.